It's the Last Stand Podcast. And here's your host, Brian Custer.
That's right. It is the Last Stand. I'm Brian Custer. We bring you the biggest names in the sport. And in the super welterweight division, one of the biggest is a man who's our next guest. He's the former WBC super welterweight champion of the world. You know him as Super Bad. He's Detroit's own Tony Harrison. Tony, welcome to the Last Stand.
Oh man, thank you for having you, boy. It's been a minute, man. I've been on the scene and I've been waiting to do stuff like this. So first one, gonna be the best one. Let's go, B.
Let's get it. All right. So April 17th on Fox, main event. You're back in the ring against Brian Perella. What should we expect when you get in the ring against Perella?
I think it's gonna be an exciting fight, man. I just think the world who's Superbad fans is just waiting to see Superbad in the ring. Period. It didn't matter who was the opponent, and for me, it's been the longest layoff for me, and just being out of the sport is any sport you play is the roughest thing you probably can come across. And the pandemic, shut us down for a minute and kept me off for a year and some months. So I'm looking forward to just seeing how fast the sport is moving again, and being able to absorb punches with 10-ounce gloves on again, and coming across a tough, rugged guy like Perella, who's a pretty good puncher himself, is it'll be fireworks. And it shouldn't go the whole way, though. That's for sure.
Well, he's making obviously his debut at 154, and as you just pointed out, it will be your first time in the ring in 16 months, longest of your career. Will any of that come into play, you think, in this fight?
Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. My mind would tell me no, and but my body would get in there and get hit with 10-ounce gloves, and haven't been hit with 10-ounce gloves in 16 months and be like, it'll just react another kind of way. I think it was kind of like the same way when I fought Charlo, when I took that year off, and he had a fight in between. So things kind of move a little faster, and it seemed like he was just a little bit stronger the second time than he was the first time. And not because he was probably physically strong, it's just the year off that I took from getting hit with 10-ounce gloves, and the speed of everything was just a little bit faster than I could probably remember just taking the year off. So I just think it'd be hard to say. It really will be hard to say. I'd be a fool to say, nah, the layoff ain't gonna affect me at all. You know what I mean? So it'll really be hard to say. Like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to myself to getting in there after 16 months. But the good thing about 16 months off is I've been doing this for so long consistently, man. I never had a break. So the 16 months kind of did help me recover. Got a little fat in between, but it did help me recover from some well-needed rest for myself and some real needed time to spend with my family and my friends, and just party like a regular guy for a minute. So it was cool. It was cool.
Well, the one thing about when you're off for a while, and now in light of the pandemic, the guys want to fight, and now, guys, there's a sense of urgency in wanting big fights. In light of that, you have to kind of look good in your return.
Right.
Is this a fight where you even tell yourself, I gotta not only whether stop this guy, or I gotta give the best version of Superbad that I've given in a while?
Well, I'm not going into the fight really kind of thinking of what's next. You know what I mean? Right now it's just about what's now, and because if I don't conquer what's now, whether knockout or ugly win, if I don't conquer what's now, what's next won't even matter for me, and that's any athlete. So I'm trying to focus on what's now for me, and every fight I go in, I'm looking to look good. I'm looking to style. I'm looking to finish it out in incredible fashion. But some guys, don't allow that. Sometimes it doesn't present itself. And but my main goal, from having just a new camp, well, not like a new camp, but from the passing of my father and my brother stepping up in a big role. We just looking to take it a step at a time and just getting a win. And like I said, when I started this journey, man, it was to become world champion. I did that. So I'm always trying to get back to that spot. I'm always trying to get back to that spot where I'm fighting for a world title belt, but it's not like I'm rushing it. It's not a rush for me. You know what I mean? It's not a thing like, well, I gotta look good so I can get the world championship. No, I am who I am. I am Tony Harrison. I am former world champion. And when it presents itself, I'll be ready for it. You know what I mean? When the time comes, I'll be ready. There ain't nothing to rush about it though.
Tony, last year, I think was a horrible year for all of us in light of the pandemic, but a really tragic one for you, considering your father, who was your trainer, died from coronavirus. How did that affect you? How did you find the strength to carry on with your career?
30 years on this earth with Ali. It kind of sums itself up, man. He did a great job raising me and my brothers and my sisters as great young men and women. And for me, it's just I'm just a realist about every situation. Like I said, I never expected the situation to happen so fast or when it did, but I'm just an advocate that death comes to us all. You know what I mean? We just don't know when. You know what I mean? So my father did a great job spending his time and dedicating his time to his children. He did a great job being a role model for the community, living his life the best way he wanted to live it. And you know what I mean? Well, with those things, you can't take anything away from him being a good man. He was a great man. And a guy just called an angel a little bit sooner than I expected him to call him. But the time I spent with him, man, like literally, like I probably spent every year of my life with that man. It wasn't a year off I didn't have with him. So just to be able to relish that time and have that time what I had with my father was you know what I mean? I can't buy him. I just sit back and I reminisce on the times we had and just say that it was good. It was, I mean, he was a good man. He did everything in his power. Only thing he was missing was money, and money didn't buy him. So everything was amazing, man. And you know what I mean? Like if I could do it all over, I would do it the exact same way. You know what I mean? Like God's message was his message.
How has your goals in your career have they changed since his death?
Like I said, being fighting since you've been 5 years old, man, you kind of walk into the room sometime and the light is a little dim. And but as a fighter, you find ways to fight in those dim spots in those dim rooms. Since my father passed in the 16 months I had off, I walk in the room and the room got LED lights in it now. You know what I mean? Like I'm back hungrier. I'm back just, like I said, the rest just, rejuvenated my mind, rejuvenated my spirit. And doing it for so long with the same people, the same routine, you know what I mean? It was just like, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do it, but it wasn't like the urge to really want to get up and say, I'm gonna get up before everybody and I'm gonna get out there. So when they pull up, I'm already out there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that spirit is in me now, that kind of fire, that kind of energy, that kind of rage is in me again. And I'm more motivated for myself. You know what I mean? Like I don't need the motivation, I don't need the cheers, I don't need the claps. You know what I mean? So like I said, this fight coming off being my first fight back, I don't need a crowd. I don't need no boos. I don't need no eyes. I don't need no hoorays. I just need me and him. I need a ref, some officials in a ring. That's all I need.
Well, it took you a couple cracks, but listen, you became a world champion. You defeated Jermell Charlo. That was in December of 2018. What did it mean to you when they put that belt around you and you were world champion?
Man, to be honest, man, I lived higher than a motherfucker off. Like the first like month. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I took that belt everywhere, man. Like it was like a dream come true, like to finally become something that you always told yourself you started off doing in the first place. It was the reason why I started doing it in the first place. You know what I mean? My father put gloves on me in the first place. You know what I mean? The whole goal we were shooting for, like it was no other belt. So God had his plan because I fought for the IBF and I lost. You know, so God had his plan because he already knew the belt I wanted. He already wanted the green belt. Like, not only the green belt is the one that meant something to me, it's the belt that you know, the iconic Floyd made seem like it was the only fucking belt that mattered. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, that's the one I wanted. So, you know what I mean? It was God's plan. I mean, I'm talking about I lived high into the sky, man, for about a month, man. I probably didn't sleep. You know, I probably was like that movie 48 and 49. I probably didn't sleep for like 40 days and 40 nights, just party, city to city, town to town. I just tore it up, man. And after that, I just felt like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like, what's next? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we gotta defend this motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get back to work. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things, like I did it and like nothing changed about it. The character was still the same, the person was still the same. The world just needed to know that it was a new face on the scene, and man, it's amazing, but you know what I mean? Like, it didn't change the person I was. You know what I mean? I just was like, cool. Like I like after the month, I gave the belt to my auntie. She kept it for like a month, and my boys, they kept it for like a month. So you know what I'm saying? Like I wanted, you know, it was more of a we passed it along like a freak chick. You know what I'm saying? We just passed her along. You know what I'm saying? So I let everybody enjoy it, man. But it was good that we brought that back to Detroit, man. After the great Milton and Tommy and Jimmy and just so many other countless of guys and did it for the city, man. And like I said, the shade is all over Detroit. Like they don't even recognize the city that brought so much lineage to the sport, man. So it was just good to be able to do that for the city, for sure.
So then a year later, you had to defend the title in a rematch with Charlo. You end up losing that fight. What do you believe was the difference in the first fight to the second fight?
Like I said, I think it was a couple variables, man. I think, like I said, I think the main variable is if I would have just fought him and not had gotten injured and we would have fought in Vegas, I think it would have been something totally different. But I think that he got his groove. You know, he knocked out Jorge Cota. His confidence was a little higher. He was dull though. Like after beating him the first time, he was shot. Like he was on a suicide watch. Like he was done. He was done. Like I just had to beat him again within that small period of time. I had him. You know what I'm saying? So after he knocked out Jorge Cota, he like, okay, I'm back on the scene. I did this right. You know what I mean? He was still the same fighter though. Like I made the change I needed to make. So he was still the same fighter though. But his talk, his confidence was, you know, his morale, everything just started to boost up a little more than I don't have what I would have just liked Al to just tell him, nope, you know what, you waited out too, because he waited it out, and we both had our little lay. You know what I'm saying? So I think the layoff was the main thing, and I think the second thing is I'm just so comfortable fighting that I sometimes I put myself in uncomfortable situations by being so comfortable. And I found that in that situation where I was like the whole press conference builder, it was dope. It was like the best shit ever. Like it was real like energy, like me not like him and him not liking me. So it was like real energy. But the whole way through, for me, it was like I've been boxing for so long, and to be on that world championship stage and I got so lax and so comfortable, it shows like how God gifted me to like just it takes a different kind of man to get into a firefight with two pistols and people pistoling out, they shooting it out with pistols, and this man just cool and like laughing, like I'm cooling and I'm laughing when bullets is flying right in front of my face. You know what I'm saying? So it just showed how I was so comfortable in the fight, and I had him so bad, like You know what I mean? Like, and then my whole mentality was like, you became world champion. Like, all the way through, those losses kind of shied me away from just when I just told my mama, the mentality was just like, just win, just win, just win, just win, just win. Find a way. You don't gotta knock nobody out. You don't gotta do none of that. You don't gotta dog nobody. Just move around. You're a good athlete. Move around. Outbox some of these guys and win fights and get to that spot. But once I became a champion, I'm like, shit, balls to the wall again. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I gotta keep boxing these motherfuckers that I know ain't really physically stronger than me, better than me? You know what I mean? So I got back to that dog mentality, man, and it made for a great fucking fight, man. And you know, it became the bull became the matador. You know what I'm saying? The guy that they thought Jermell Charlo was, oh, he just physically gonna walk this guy down, and I changed the tide on him and I walked him down. And he got to be in the matador. He got to be in the guy that was moving more. So it was definitely a fun fight, man. But it just shows the kind of time that we in. Like, these suck ass niggas is so fucking uncompetitive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the competitive part of me is I beat him, he gave me the shot, let's do it again. And he has to be no rematch clause. Not like let's do it again. Like, it's fun for the ratings was high. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the press conference was this shit. Like, the energy was real. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's Rocky and Drago. Like, that was like the kind of build up we had for that. Like, and it brought, like, I feel like for me, it brought boxing back to a great spot in the sport. But like I said, he's doing what he's doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. I ain't chasing no man. He ain't chasing me. So, but like I said, the main thing for me was the layoff and just being so comfortable that I made it uncomfortable to really understand, to tell myself, like, man, you really still in a gunfight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, but like I said, it just showed that I deserve to be at the highest level. I didn't get there by no surprise. So I mean, that's, like I said, that's the new me though, man. That's the new me, man. You know what I'm saying? Walking these guys down, making these guys, putting these guys in their place mentally. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just the mentally, I'm just physically the stronger guy. And more importantly, that I'm mentally the stronger guy, for sure.
You know, that rematch, as you pointed out, was just so contentious, especially the build up, the press conference, all of that. Now, you know, Jermell's got 3 of the belts. He's looking to become the unified and undisputed champion of the division. What do you think of Jermell Charlo?
I think he's an okay fighter. I honestly think he's okay. He's you know what I'm saying, decent. You know what I'm saying? He no slouch at all. You know what I'm saying? He's not a slouch. He's not a bum. You know, I would never call him that. You know, I really would never call any man that's man enough to step in the ring and put a pistol down and fight somebody a bum. So he's definitely a very very good fighter, man. He's a very very good fighter. From his standpoint, I think he's not the most skilled. Like, he ain't, like, he does everything good. Like, I just think, like, he does nothing spectacular. He does everything good. You know what I mean? But sometimes that's what it takes to be a unified world champion, is to do everything good. You don't have to do one thing great, but just do everything good. And I think his best attribute is he is probably, in our division, one of the most durable. You know what I mean? Like, he's very durable. You know what I mean? Like, his body, his body pain resistance is, like, very high. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could hit him with a good punch, and I know I hurt him, but his demeanor never changed from any shots that you hit him with. So it's like his resilience for getting hit, his resilience for staying strong is very high, and I think he does that extremely well. Like, his technique is very good. And like I said, he got a good trainer, man. He got a good trainer and good stable around him. And I think he's a good fighter, man. He's a real good fighter.
Yeah, I love your division because you have so many great fighters, it seems, at 154. Obviously, Charlo, yourself, Hurd, Lubin, J-Rock, Castano, who's there. is Tony Harrison still a major force at 154?
I think you would have to see some of these guys stop ducking and stop making these fights that are good for the people happen, and then we'll be able to figure that out in factual time and not opinionated time. You know what I'm saying? Like I only like to speak facts, and I only like the fights that matter for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I don't really like fights like this where I don't really have much to gain, but Brian Perella is coming up in weight, and you know what I'm saying, he has nothing to lose, and he just can come out here shooting. And you know what I mean? I don't really like those fights, but sometimes that's how the fight game happen. You know, I would have rather fought somebody else, but I want these guys, like I said, in order to keep the sport good gotta fight good. Great gotta fight great. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't make the sport good by relishing on fighting guys that where you look at the odds on the fight and it's 9-1 and 10-1 and 21-1. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how we make the sport better, man. And I think it starts with, you know what I mean, like the promoters do their job, matchmakers do their job, but it really starts with the fighters. All two fighters got to do is agree to fight each other. And the sport is back on top, man. You have some of the best. You know, it'll definitely be the best sport, man. I think the world started out. This is one of the sports that the world has started. You know what I mean? Like, before it was basketball, before it was football, before it was hockey, it was fighting. Like, all you had to do was raise your fist and it was fighting. You know what I mean? So I think to make these fights happen is it take fighters, man. It take fighters and take guys to stop worrying about money. It take guys to stop worrying about taking a loss. It take guys to stop worrying about the odds of some of these fights. Like I said, I really only want to fight guys I got something to lose, just like me, to be honest. So, but that's not the case in this end. But I'm gonna just go ahead and get through to this one and see what happens next, for real. But I want those fights.
And in the hierarchy at 154, where do you see Tony Harrison?
I'm still top 5, easy. You know what I mean? I don't see too many guys beating me. You know what I'm saying, to be honest. But like I said, they only see the skill level of the fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, the mentality of the fighter means a lot more than the skill of the fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the real thing is, like, start going and asking these guys, have they offered you a fight with Tony Harrison, and see how many people said no. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the mentality of the fighter. You know what I mean? Like damn, this guy really this guy really has to be pretty good. Like, if everybody turning this guy down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like I'm getting the opportunity to fight the guy that I want to fight, and I'm saying no to it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really the guy that's like let's make that fight happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you went to Al Heyman and the PBC and said, "Yo, give me Hurd, give me J Rock, give me Lubin, give me these guys"? Have you done that yet?
I mean, like I said, this was previous of times, man. It's this previous of times that I've tried to make good fights happen. That didn't happen. Like I said, no names dropped and nothing like that. But it's been previous times I've tried to make great fights happen. For some reason, they didn't happen, whether the time just wasn't right. And I understand time not being right at some point in your career after, you know what I'm saying, whether switching the trainer, whether coming off a loss. So I understand that times are not right sometimes, you know what I mean? But at some point, the best just got to keep fighting the best, you know what I mean? Like, when you top 5, top 10, like we got to just continue to just circulate. Like, you know what I mean? That's the good thing about having a good division. Like, all of us can just circulate. Like, if you just want to put us all in the tournament, like, where nobody can fucking duck nobody, then I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I'll be the first guy to sign up on the line and say I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody just draw out of a hat, like we do March Madness. This guy gotta fight this guy. This guy has to play this guy. This guy has to, like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be all for it. You know, I'll be one of the guys that sign up for it, and I'll be the first one that'll put my name on a petition and say, let's make this division great. Let's do it how it's supposed to be done. And I think from that, once you see good fights happen, man, and you see the justice and the kind of the testimony we get from that, I think, you'll get the middleweight division to do it. I think junior middleweight division to do it. I think, you know what I mean? So sometimes it takes stuff like that to happen. But like I said, to be a good fighter, man, it's not only about fighting, it's about, coming from them days that Tommy and them was fighting each other, and Ray Leonard was all fighting each other, and Hagler, Duran, and all those guys was all fighting each other. I mean, that's really what the sport needed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be a loser at the end of the day, and got to be a winner. But once again, those guys are all in the Hall of Fame because they all did what they were supposed to do as fighters, and they all fought each other.
Yeah, you're right. It's a great point. How long do you see yourself fighting at 154?
To be honest, man, I just don't see a reason to go up to a division. I think that is less energetic. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying never say less talented, because talent is everywhere, but less energetic. Like the middleweight division is just less energetic. Like it's nobody. It's like the energy is not the same. Like when you look at the top 10 junior middleweights, like you can pick 1 out of 10, and 10 versus 2, 2 versus 8, 8 versus 6, and you make great fights. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see the same when it comes down to the middleweight division. But if it was coming out for me to move up to middleweight, it would have to be like something that has to make super sense. In like it has to be something like that a press conference for me would just have to be like better than Jermell Charlo type thing. And like I said, it would have to geek me up some other way where it's not just me moving up to 160. It has to be like money or something like that. But like I said, I really just want to retire here. And I want to just try to make all the best fights I can, all the fights that I know that'll be just amazingly good fights, man. I just want to make all the best fights I can before I even think about moving up. I mean, you really asked me to move up. I mean, it would be like after 16 months, that would have been the question to ask me to move up, because making weight at 154 again after 16 months off is fucking, man, man. And like I said, to make it even worse, man, and go into that bubble and not being able to do nothing is ridiculous. Like they asking us to commit suicide, to be honest.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Fighters have realized that they basically, when they go to wherever they're fighting, they better get there on weight, because once you get there, there's not much you can do. So you better get there basically on weight.
They asking us to commit suicide, man, and that's the struggle. That's gonna be the hard part in the struggle. But once I get there, and once my body gets back to that weight, I'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like it's just a point of breaking the body back down from doing all the bullshit I was doing for 16 months, and breaking the body back down, and like snapping it back in shape, and telling it, it's time to get back to your weight that you normally fight at, which is gonna be a struggle after 16 months. But I get there though. Mentally I get there for sure.
If it was up to you, and I love when we have fighters on to ask them this question, if it was up to you, what would be your next 2 fights after Perella?
If it was up to me, my next fight, like I said, I would definitely Jermell Charlo, and another rematch with Jermell Charlo again. You know what I'm saying? But realistically, I really swear to God, I've always wanted to fight Julian Williams. Like realistically, I've always thought, like, when it comes down to the movement, when it comes down to the boxing, beautiful science part of it, I think he's a very good fighter. And Philly and Detroit is just like 2 of the same. And like I said, I always think that a fight versus me and him would just be like the ultimate chess match, the ultimate fainted out, the ultimate moving heads, side to side moving. It'd just be beautiful for a guy that loves the sport of boxing. It might be slower than expected for the action-packed guy, but the guy that loves boxing to be like, these 2 motherfuckers is in without throwing a punch. Like, these 2 motherfuckers is fighting. You know what I'm saying? We just moving our feet and working our angles and moving our head like, these 2 motherfuckers, we ain't throw a punch yet. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that's just the beauty of boxing, man. But like I said, I've always wanted to fight him. I would always look for a her rematch if I could. So, you know, Castano's back on top. Him and Charlo will fight. I would love to fight him. I would love to fight with Rosario. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you could pick a lot of guys, man. I'm not choosing any of them, but you know what I'm not hounding any of them on. I'm not choosing any. I'm not skating out. But it's too many fights you can make for a guy like me when it comes down to the junior middleweight division.
How about this? What do you think, Danny Garcia, saying that he's coming to
love Danny.
154?
I fucking love Danny, though.
And he
I
said,
love Danny, dog.
He says, quote, "I'm still a bigger name than all them dudes at 154. I'm definitely going to be the biggest name in that division, and they need someone to help them bring more light to that division," end quote. What do you think?
I fucking love Danny, dog. I love Danny. No fucking lie, no fucking joke. Like literally at welterweight, I love Danny. At junior welterweight, I love Danny. I'm really like a Danny Garcia guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a Danny Garcia guy. I love his grit. I love the fact that him and his dad are crazy enough to do the things they've done. But most importantly, I love them more for him just sticking with his dad. You know what I'm saying? Like any guy that we can see that stick with, like, listen to me, like a father-son relationship is tough already. A father-son trainer relationship is even fucking tougher. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I applaud everybody that is stuck with their father, Telefimo, you know, Danny, and that just everybody that sticks with their father, because it's already not enough that, you know, those old school kind of dads are stuck in their ways, and it's hard to create good relationships with that kind of thing. But you know, it's a mental challenge. You got to be mentally strong to do that. But I think Danny Garcia coming to junior welterweight is a fucking big thing. But for him to think he's just gonna be the biggest name, he's just gonna do what he done. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, Danny. I love Danny, but you love Danny now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna be little Danny compared to the big guys, the 6'1" guys. But I love Danny Garcia, man. I love, man. Like, literally, like, it's nothing bad for me to say. I would love a fight with Danny Garcia. I think he's an amazing fighter, bro, and he's chasing greatness, man. Like I said, he's not running from anything. He's just chasing greatness, man. And you can appreciate a guy like that. I always appreciated Danny, man, for chasing everything he's done and everything he's done. And like literally, like it's nothing bad for me to say, man. I love that dude.
You've done so much for the city of Detroit. Obviously your home, city you love. What do you want your legacy to be once you're done?
I wanted to be like, this guy stood for something. This guy, the main thing is this guy didn't sell out. This guy didn't sell out. He did it his way. This guy, I mean, this guy was just, I want my legacy to be like, this guy was just different. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm, you know, you hear a lot of guys say, well, I signed with Al Heyman. I want to talk to Al Heyman, kind of thing. Like, I'm like the total opposite. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be like, I signed with Al Heyman, but I don't need to talk to Al Heyman. You know what I'm saying? Like all the guys be like, oh, I want to talk to Al. Like, I'm just different. I'm just a different kind of guy. Like, I don't need to talk to Al Heyman. Al Heyman is the guy that felicitates everything, but a good felicitator has good leaders around him. And he got Sam, he got Brad, and my baby. This is my baby right here out of all everybody. This is why I don't even need to talk to Al as much as everybody else probably do that want to pamper themselves and be like, I need to talk to Al, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need you, because the first lady that he got around him, Sylvia, is like that's my baby. Like, that's my, you know, I don't even miss a beat with talking to Al, because that is Al to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is my Al Heyman. So I just want everybody to be like, this guy was different. He stood for something. Like, I made it to 21-0 before I even signed with Al Heyman, and I was fighting all locally. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's for everybody. It's a possibility. It's a possibility for you to do it your way and still come on top with the best promoter, the best manager, with doing it your way. You know what I'm saying? So I did it my way, and while doing it my way, like everybody that I brought up with the crowd was my family. Like I never brought in no new guy, like no outside guy to do this, no outside guy to do this. Like everybody I did it with was my brother, my dad, my uncle, my cousin. Yeah, everybody became a very good name, especially in the city of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Where which whenever you're trying to be great at something, start with your city.
Yeah.
Like you have to dominate your city before you can do it anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Be great in your city first. So I think me and my team have established ourselves in being great in our city before we made our trips and our moves anywhere else. So like I said, my legacy is do it your way. Like this guy did it his way. He came on top and became world champion. I didn't need I don't have a manager. I never had a manager. Never. So you know what I mean. I did it my way. You know what I'm saying. Without giving, and I say this myself, as much money as possible by doing it my way, and not letting nobody force feed me to believe I needed the best manager, or I needed the best promoter, or I needed the best. No, I put in the fucking groundwork. I grinded. I sold tickets. I went door to door, and tickets in my hand for the first 21 fights of my life, and sold tickets until I sold out Cobo Arena, and then took myself to the big screen where I got with Al Heyman. But I did it my way, you know what I'm saying? So everybody just got to realize, like bet on yourself. Like when the legacy's involved, I bet on myself. I did the groundwork myself. I hustled with tickets myself. I didn't sign with Al Heyman out the bubble. I wasn't the best amateur coming out. I didn't have like Olympic alternate. I didn't do none of that, but I was a great fucking fighter. And I was charismatic the whole way through, and I did it my way, man. Just like do it your way. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no blueprint to doing it your way. There's no blueprint to it. You know what I'm saying? Like people become the best, a president of the United States. They don't have to graduate from Yale. You know what I'm saying? Like do it your way. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, just do it your way and bet on you.
I love it. Real quick, what do you think about these YouTubers making a lot of money in your sport, and even these older guys, old champions now doing these exhibitions and still drawing a lot of money and people to? What do you think about that? This new wave of boxing now with YouTubers and old champs from Tyson, Holyfield, and Roy Jones now getting back and making money in these fights.
That shit is fucking insane. It's insane. Like I love it though. I love it that these guys, like the older guys that, you know what I'm saying, like back in the day, I don't think the older guys back in the day really maximized who they were back in the day. Like Tyson, I think Tyson generated $50, $100 million. I think he should have generated $1 billion. You know, in this day's time, it would have been like $1 billion. It would have been like him making what Anthony Joshua made. You know what I'm saying? Like times 3. You know what I'm saying? So right now these guys are really using what they became back in the day to finally still make money that they probably blew back in the day. To make millions now is amazing. But for guys like me that's been grinding since 5 years old, boxing since 5 years old, you mean to tell me the blueprint to the shit to make more money in less amount of fights with no amateur experience was just find a way to fucking hack a computer? Like, damn, like I'm like, kudos to, like, listen to me. Kudos to any man that can scam the system. Like I'm all for scammers. I'm from Detroit, so I'm all for the guys that can scam. I'm all for the guys that can kind of spam, find a way to get that niche and find a way to just jump right in something and dominate it and make the most out of it by doing something that's so simple. All it takes is time to be able to do something with a computer or videos or gamers or YouTubers. Like them, all they did was took time out they day to just sit around all day to do nothing to make millions of dollars. Like, damn, like, kudos to you, brother. Kudos fucking to you.
This segment of the show is brought to you by Man Cave Health. It's a public charity that raises awareness nationwide for prostate cancer. Many of you know I battled prostate cancer, and had it not been for me taking a PSA test, the doctor told me I could have been dead within a year. 30,000 men die every year from prostate cancer simply because they didn't know their number. They didn't get an annual check. And also, do you know 1 out of every 4 Black men are diagnosed with prostate cancer? In light of that, in light of the loss that you suffered last year with your father, how important is your health to you?
I mean, health is everything, to be honest. I think I'm not pretty sure, pinpointed pretty sure, but I think if my father would have taken health a little bit serious, I think it would have his body probably would have fought off COVID a little harder. You know what I'm saying? Like not only with the doctors, but it starts with your own body. Like COVID reacts how it reacts to your body just comes from health. You know, health is top priority. You know what I'm saying? So I just wouldn't, you know, I just want everybody to be like, don't overlook the small things for the bigger things that don't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because when you die, money don't matter. When you die, cars don't matter, jewelry don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So the object of life is to live as long as you can, to see your friends and your family, your granddaughters and your sons and daughters prosper in life. And if I can live to 100 years old, I want to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So health is wealth to me. Like that's the ultimate form of wealth.
Well said. In light of that, has anyone in your family, especially on the male side, have they ever been diagnosed with prostate cancer?
You know what? I couldn't even give you a definitive answer for that. Like I'm so ignorant. Like I'm so ignorant to the fact of prostate cancer when it comes to a male. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know that's a huge thing. Like my dad used to get checked out for it, but I'm still one of those guys that's young enough but ignorant enough to understand like that's really something you should be doing. Like, you know, that's really something I should be doing. I should always be getting something like that checked out because my dad did it. But like I said, it's not that much awareness going around when it comes down to prostate cancer for a man, rather than breast cancer for a woman. So when you think of cancer from my end, it's more breast cancer for a woman or lung cancer or some of that. So a prostate cancer for a male, it's like I'm so blind and ignorant to something that's not being real big awareness to a guy in my community. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, you know, now that you brought it up again, I'm like, man, I really should be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like I really should be doing that for sure.
And it is something that is skewing, especially men of color, even at a younger age. Hey, look, you know, I had just turned 42 when I found I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. My last question to you then, in light of everything that you've gone through, do you think that you're going to be more proactive to making sure that, let's say, your uncles and men who are a little bit older than you, who mean a lot to you, that they get checked on a regular basis?
You know what? To be honest, man, I probably my gym that I've created in the city of Detroit is probably made up of like 80% men, and I'm gonna make that, and mostly older men, I'm gonna make that a priority, that each and every one of our men go get checked out, or they can no longer be a director or a specialist in my gym. You know what I'm saying? Like help for you is you can't help that other man out or that other boy out or other kid out that walking to the gym if you don't help yourself out. So I think that's gonna be something I'm gonna implement as for our staff as a criteria. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm gonna do my part on my end to get our guys to live as long as they can and to check out and know their body as much and as well as they can. So I'm gonna do my part. And I hope that next fighter does their part, and the next fighter does their part. As if all of us can just do our part, you know what I'm saying, then the world becomes a better place. So I'm just gonna do my part. I'm gonna just tell you I can do my part. And I'll be the first one to go get checked out, and I'll be able the first one to email you the results to tell you, like, look, I went and got mine done for you, BC. And to say, like, you fought, I'm gonna fight with you. And I'm gonna tell you that you my brother. And I'm gonna fight with you, and I'm gonna go out there and do that. And then I'll make that a strict policy for my staff to get it done, and we'll start there.
The mission for Man Cave Health is to encourage all men to take just 1 hour out of the year to either get a physical and a PSA test. And with donations from people just like you, you can help other men who maybe don't have the resources to pay for a PSA test or a physical exam. All you've got to do is go to the Man Cave Health website at mancavehealth.org and sign up for their free newsletter. It is a great resource. And please make a donation, because this public charity is trying to make sure that all men can get a physical and a PSA test. And all you've got to do to donate to this public charity is text The Last Stand to 44321. Tony, for everybody who comes on, we allow viewers who watch to submit questions. We got so many of them from social media, so we'll get right through them here really quick. First one from Twitter from Bernie. He says, how's the football team you coach and all the rest of the amazing community work you do in Detroit going?
Well, like I said, the community work never stops, man. It's always a way to make the city better, or to make the community that you're in better. So that never stops. This Friday or Saturday, one of them days, we got a free clothes giveaway that we're giving away clothes to everybody in need. So, like I said, that never stopped. That's in my heart. That never stopped. That never will stop. We'll always find ways to pick up and get sponsors for people that got the same hearts as me, that keep donating their time and luxuries to people that really need it more than we do. So that never stops. That's gonna be until the day I die. The football team, my gym trains 50% of the kids on that team. But I had to give it a break of coaching so I can really more my last stretch of my years, my 30-year-old years, to just dedicate myself to me, dedicate myself to the sport of boxing, because the sport needs my body more than these kids. Because after I'm done, I give them kids 100%. So I'll be able to look back and say, well, look, you gave the kids a rest. Now you can get back to it because you gave yourself 100%. I can look myself in the mirror at the end of the day and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? You did it the right way. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna have nobody saying, well, every time you lose, there's always something. Or maybe if he wouldn't have coached them kids more, maybe if he had dedicated his time to get some rest when he was coaching them kids, maybe it would have, you know what I'm saying? So we don't want those kind of opinionated answers. So we just going to go in and just cut it off now. And when it's time for me to get over and done, boxing is done, I'm done. I'm right back there 100%.
This one you've already kind of answered. It comes from Twitter. It says, are you interested in a Hurd rematch or a fight with J-Rock?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Another one from Twitter. It says, Tony, do you have a stamina problem? You seem to tire in all of your losses.
To be honest, man, I don't even feel, like I said, like the way we structure these camps, man, it's really hard to say. Like, I don't even understand how I get tired. Like, I run all day. Like, I run like a gazelle. You know what I'm saying? But I would rather say I have a problem with every time I punch is I'm taking half of the bars down every time. I don't know if you play Fight Night, so the bar is this much. So, every time you throw a power punch, the bar goes like this. You know what I'm saying? Every time they have to rejuvenate itself back up, it goes like this. So I think I have the problem with every time I punch that I'm taking every bar down with it. Rather just chopping the wood down. I'm trying to strike the tree one time and hoping that big ass tree fall, which I know that the tree is gonna take time, and I know I have to manifest in this tree and create this tree to fall by just chopping it away. You know what I'm saying? So I think I have the problem with trying to kill every time I punch, which is not a bad problem, but it is a bad problem. You know what I'm saying? Which the mentality is right, but the concept of going 12 rounds is, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta cook the pot up, stir it up a little bit before you just whip that thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think I got more of a problem like that.
Okay. JK from Twitter asks, who's your new trainer?
My brother. I think my older brother. I think it was best to create a trainer for me that knew me, that understood me, that understood being an athlete, and most importantly, kind of knows my ins and outs. I don't even have to tell him, but he knows when I need rest. He knows when I need a break. He knows when, let him just chill for the day. He needs to just recover for the day. You know what I'm saying? So a guy that just knew me like the back of my hand. A guy that know that I'm gonna always give it 2,000%, And another thing for me is I literally get sick of watching these trainers every time somebody fights and lose. It's like they had nothing invested in this shit. And like you see them like just walk out of the ring, or you just see them like they right on to an interview smiling in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like they have nothing invested in their fighter than just training the fighter. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted somebody to just be invested in me all the way. Like my brother got no fighters except for the fighters that we train here. So he's not invested into like a Freddie Roach, or they got tons of fighters lined up where he's going on to the next product. You know what I'm saying? My brother literally is putting everything he has in what we got right now and focus on me solely, and focus on me. And like, he's not worried about having to train Shane Mosley Jr. next. And then right after that, we're going into training Manny Pacquiao, and then Manny Pacquiao, and then we're going to the next camp. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think you need somebody dedicated strictly for you. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that's gonna be dedicated to you. And literally, like if you see me crying on somebody's shoulder, it'll be my brother walking me out of the ring, win, lose, or draw. You know what I'm saying? We walked in together, we're gonna walk out together. Whether some of these trainers walk in with the fighter, and if it does not go their way, they separate way. They like fighter goes this way with the people that really love them, and you know the trainer goes the opposite way with doing interviews and all the other bullshit. It makes it look like my dog, like you really shouldn't have chose that trainer anyway. Like go with somebody you love, because sometimes like you cannot defeat love. Like love is undefeated. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like whether you go with this guy that's 100 times more skilled, I'm gonna choose love over skill any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I choose it.
This one from John from Twitter. He says, will you fight Irislandi Lara?
Me as a fighter, I would love to fight. I would have loved to fight a Lara over a Perella. You know what I'm saying? Like me as a fighter. But me as a fan, fuck no. I don't want to fight no Irislandi Lara, because it makes it that much harder for a guy like me to look good on a guy like Lara. You know what I'm saying? When you got two guys, you know, looking to dance, which makes for a boring fight. So as a fan, for myself, like I'm still a fan. Like I still think on both sides. Like I got my two brains. I got the fighter side and I got the fan side. So as the fan side, it's like, no, that wouldn't be like the most exciting fight to ever make. You know what I'm saying? But as the fighter side, it's like that's a beautiful fight to make when it comes down to skill level. When it comes down to the grit of two people and two fighters in the junior middleweight division, I would love to fight a guy like Lara. But you know what I'm saying? Like I think for me, I think Lara gets like the most credit for doing what he does more than anybody. Like literally, like I thought Castano worked very good against Lara. I thought he was very active against Lara. So I think a lot of them draws that Lara be getting, I'd be like, how? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying he does a lot of good stuff right, but no, he's at the older end of his wit.
Right.
And his activity is slowing down. You know what I'm saying? So how is he winning these fights when these young guys are coming in literally working? They get him in the corner and throw 1,000 punches. He get out of there and throw 2 punches. And it's ooh, like, you know what I'm saying? So I just think the world loves Lara, what you see, with he's on. He's an amazing fighter. But the fighter side, yes. The fan side, no.
This one from Twitter, you've kind of answered it. It says, have you made the necessary adjustments to avenge your loss to Jermell Charlo?
I mean, like I said, losses come with the sport, man. I'm not looking to avenge anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 1-1. Like I said, if he wants to die like that, then I die like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not chasing him. I'm not on Twitter writing him. You know what I'm saying? He write me more than I write him. You know what I'm saying? And he won. You know what I'm saying? So once again, he literally thinks about me more than I think about him ever in life. I don't even think about the dude. So like I said, he's just another guy. He want to fight. I want to fight. If he want to die 1-1, cool. I'm dying 1-1. If you want to meet at a catch weight where he can keep all the fucking belts, let's just do it for the glory. Let's just do it for the fucking tiebreaker and the competitiveness of 2 fucking men. Let's fucking go. If you want to do it any other way, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, it ain't got to be for no belt for me. Like, I just want to really just settle the score. Like, nigga, I don't want to die being 1-on-1 with you. You know what I'm saying? When I know in my heart, like, I'm better than you. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, he's a great fighter, man. He's on with his career, and like I said, I applaud him for being a unified champion in the junior middleweight division. I don't think it's been done before or something like that, right? Like he was the first one to do it.
Well, he's trying to be the first undisputed there at 154.
And like I said, and once again, I swear to God, as a brother, I'm rooting for him. You know what I mean? Even though I don't like him, I'm rooting for him. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm rooting for him to break history and open the doors up for another brother to come and do it behind him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm rooting for him. I don't like him, but I'm rooting for him. And like I said, my thing is I'm not chasing him. But if it happens, it happens. If not, I think fuck it. I can die without it.
We've come to the last segment of this show, Tony Harrison. We call it The Last Stand. I'm going to ask you just a series of questions. You give me the first thing, not the second. First thing that comes to your mind. You ready?
I'm with you.
In your opinion, right now, who's the best fighter at 154?
Me.
Okay. Which city has the richest boxing history?
Detroit.
Philly, New York,
Detroit. Detroit. I answered that already.
Who is, well, I'll ask it like this. What's better, Super Bad Academy or Kronk's Gym?
Ooh, that's a good fucking question. That's a good fucking question. I think, like I said, I think the generations have changed. So I just think it's about the time that we're looking at. I think now that Super Bad Academy is like the fucking shit. Like when literally every Crunk was, every gym in the city of Detroit, when they want the best work, they come to Super Bad Academy. They literally come to Super Bad. Like every gym come down here to get the best work. Like we don't have to. My gym doesn't go anywhere. All right, like everybody was coming to Crunk to get the work. Everybody's coming to us to get the work. So, but the creation of champions came from Emmanuel Stewart. I'm gonna go Crunk.
All right. At 154, is there a guy coming up that you said, I think this kid may be a problem?
Ooh, I like that question. Like I said, to be honest, man, I got a guy here, man, that I've loved since the first day I've laid eyes on this guy. When I was announcing the fight, he was fighting Wale Omatoso. He's down here right now. He's actually on the card that I'm on. Cordell Booker. This guy is really going to fucking be a problem. This motherfucker like 5'5", 5'6", little small motherfucker, little compact running back looking like he just look like a running back or something, like built like a running back, real small, cocky, like nice built. But the guy is so smooth and so technically sound, like his angles. Like I think that's my pick. It's either going to be Cordell Booker for me, or it's going to be Charles Conwell.
All right.
Problem.
Got it. Here's the last question. It's the big one here. In your opinion, who is the face of Detroit boxing? Is it Joe Louis, Thomas Hearns, or Tony Harrison?
Oh, the face. I think you got to just take me out of that shit. Like the two guys you named before me was just like, fuck. Like those guys were just like the shit. Like those guys were the shit. And like me to be honest, like Joe Louis was the shit, like the shit. But he's still in a different type of time zone than I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a guy that I would like black and white fights. I don't even pretend to even watch. You know what I'm saying? Like so for me, it's got to be the Motor City Cobra, man. The Cobra, man, is that guy, man. Literally walks, like when I be with Tommy and I walk with Tommy, this motherfucker can stop a parade. Like the parade could be walking down the street. They see Tommy, everybody like, this guy's still a shit, man. He's still a man. And I'm gonna go Tommy all day. TH, Tony Harrison, Tommy Harrison, TH. When we get together, we tear the city up. We do what we got to do. And I love that man, TH.
Well, listen, I want to wish you the best of luck on April 17th. I've been waiting to do it for a while, man. It's great that you took the time and spent some time with us here on The Last Stand.
Hey, Cuz, you know I love you, man. I love you. I know sometimes I get extra busy, man, but like I said, I think it's good to have a brother like you doing this shit, man. And I love it. I love it. I think you need to get more brothers to do this. I think you need to do this like every day if you can, man. Like I think you need to shed light on so many brothers that need you. Like, so like we need you as a platform. Like, come on, BC. Like you need, like we need you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate that we need you so much because I'm a brother that hates needing somebody, but we need you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I hate that you only do this for the biggest fighters. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many fighters coming up, BC, that you need to be interviewing. That's like, damn, BC, I could be that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can really start a new wave of this shit. Like, let me get this guy out here that they don't know about. Let me tune into this guy. Let them get insight on this guy they don't know about. BC, you just got to do a little bit of research, but you became a TV analyst, my nigga. You can do research. You can you can do the groundwork to do some research. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they need you, man. The shit, like the sport needs you for us, brothers. And I think you do like literally this show is like amazing, bro. Like it's amazing. Like they need to be paying you like you need like they not paying you what you need to be paid, bro. Come to me. Come to Detroit, man. Come to Detroit so we can kind of petition you to get paid more, man. Like our brothers need to be getting paid more for the stuff that they do and the time they take out to do this stuff correctly, man. And I love you. I appreciate you for all us brothers. But you know what I'm saying? Do the groundwork, man. And I just don't like that all analysts only pay attention to the guys that's on top. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think it's so many guys that need this light shedded on them. And I just think like for y'all, just like maybe once a month, man, just dedicated new fighter alert or something. You know what I'm saying? Like just give it once. Like I need to see some of these killers. You know what I'm saying?
Just like how we have enlightened you when it comes to health, you've enlightened us. And you know what? I think that's something we're going to start doing and incorporating. We're going to start incorporating some of the up and comers here and make sure that we get those guys on because you raise a great point. There's a lot of great athletes and great fighters.
It is, man. And there's a lot of guys that just unsigned that's looking to get to Al or unsigned that's looking to get to top rank. They just need the opportunity. You know what I mean? It's just almost like that guy that back in the day when he used to be like, this guy would beat Jordan. But nobody fucking knew about him because he didn't go to the biggest college or he didn't even go to school period, but he'd go tear it up at the Rucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the guy we want to talk about. Like let's not talk about him when it's too late, when the guy then blew his own opportunity and we got to make a show on Netflix because the guy then blew his opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying like let's shed light on these guys now, man. And I think it'd be dope, man.
Well, listen, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the time. Wish you nothing but the best of luck in your fight. And folks, that's what we do here on The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport, like Super Bad Tony Harrison. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.